See, he want his cake and eat it too. And it don't work like that. Charleston thought he was gonna continue to make money with SayCheese and be on YouTube, getting the Facebook checks and getting the Instagram, that small money, till he realized he got bills now. He got real deal bills. Charleston staying in Miami. He having jewelry. He doing other personal stuff. He in the strip club every time he turn around. He plane tickets and all that stuff. It's starting to cost. That lifestyle cost. So YouTube and waiting on these checks on the 21st, it ain't getting it done now. But man, and you can't blame nobody but yourself, because at one point in time, everything that you trying to act like is fucking you up now. You fucked up about it was working for you at first when you were still in Texas. Charleston White went live yesterday and said that he's done doing interviews for SayCheese TV with Sean Cotton, and that without him, the platform will continue to go down and be stagnant when it comes to substance and good quality content. He also said that he started to notice a pattern with Sean and how he strategically titles his interviews whenever they sit down and work together compared to other platforms and podcasters. And part of me kind of understand that part and where he's coming from. I'll tell you why as the video goes on. But first, I'm going to let you hear what Charleston White said about SayCheese and Sean Cotton and why he's never going back on his platform. Y'all check this out.
And the channel, I'm finna critique the channel publicly. They got everything negative about the title. That's why the numbers slowed down. Tell V, quit making everything negative about Charleston. That's what's slowing your numbers down, Sean. And by the way, grow. Well, what you mean by grow? You need better titles. I'm gonna break this down. If you look at their titles, it looked elementary. That's why the advertisers turn it green, yellow. Oh man, why would we turn that green? They got the O lowercase, they got the other capital. Come on, man, y'all doing poor work, SayCheese TV. Poor work. Now, this may be my last interview with him, because I'm going to tell him this to his face. You messy. You got to be like Antoine Daniels and the other people who, you got a problem with Charleston, let's not do that here. That's why your numbers going down. So I notice people who put positive titles, Tasha K, it's the Charleston White goes off, puts it down there. Charleston White breaks down. And I've been holding it back, but you ain't finna keep treating me like this. You ain't finna keep treating me like this. Yo, I'm waiting on your camera girl. You might need some new camera people. Or you might not just need to stop interviewing Charleston White, because don't look like you appreciate Charleston White and what he do for your channel. Charleston White appreciates you. When you call, he stop what he doing and jump. You hard to get in contact with now. And I think you setting up a beef for me and Philly, for somebody to die. I really think that. You got a history of it. You got a history of it, Sean. Mode 3, you ain't learned from Mode 3, Trap Boy Freddy, and Yellow Bees. You ain't learned. That's why your channel not growing. You're stagnant, your numbers. You was trying to do something extra. Now you just throwing out anything. Your audio up. Your audio, you ain't got no new mic, you just stagnant. That ain't how businesses grow.
Charleston White and Sean Cotton have been doing videos together for some time now. I'll say at least 5 or 6 years now. And in the beginning, when they first started doing interviews, they were different. Way different. His very first sit down to me wasn't half as controversial as the stuff that he says today. And in that first interview that he did, I feel like the only controversial thing at the time in that interview was his take and how he felt with rappers in Philadelphia, how they was trying to counsel Pop Hunter in the situation when he basically talked to law enforcement and gave them information about a crime he witnessed as a kid. Thinking about it, that may have been the starting point of Charleston not liking rappers, because you had people like Gilly the Kid, his response was strong. What he said about Uzi Vert, like he kind of singled him out in the interview with Sean Cotton. So he never really just rocked with Uzi like that. And his stance is strong when it comes to Meek Mill. So if you notice, Charleston, when it comes to Philly rappers, he never really just liked the Philly rappers. He don't rock with rappers anyway, but he always had a strong like hate when it came to Philly rappers. And if you know how he started, if you think about his first interview, that's part of the reason why. And eventually, over time, the thing with him just hating rappers and not caring too much for him, it just started to become part of his brand, along with him calling the police, telling you how, you know, he'll mace you and things of that nature. All of these things started to become a part of who Charleston White was. And if you was a consumer at the time, or if you just liked this type of content, this type of entertainment, you would tune in to any interview that he does, whether it's on SayCheese or not, because it ain't even about the message to you. It's more so about what you think he's gonna say, because you know he say a whole bunch of crazy stuff. He unorthodox, he's very unpredictable. So you never know what side you gonna get from him. You never know what they expect. And he pretty much built this brand off of just being the most disrespectful person and saying the most disrespectful stuff that comes to mind. And when you ask him why he doing it, or if you ask him what make him say these things, the first thing he say is he playing character. Like this is a character, like this some Dolomite shit. And that's where the problem comes in. Charleston White has this thing where he like to lash out and say the most disrespectful things about people, dead or alive. And when he started to face any type of backlash for the things that he say, the first thing he just hollers out, or he quick to go to, is I'm playing character. And I'm gonna be real, every person can't just look at that shit that way. That's been his biggest issue ever since he stepped on the scene, to where like it's hard to really tell when he's saying something from the heart, because this is what he really mean, this is him, or he just talking and just saying some shit out of his ass because he in character. But either way it go, what he's doing that made him a whole bunch of money. Charleston said a couple weeks ago on SayCheese platform that just off of SayCheese alone, he's made $1 million off of that platform. Now I'm gonna ask y'all something. If that's true, and Charleston has made over $1 million off SayCheese, how much money you think in return SayCheese has made off of Charleston White? I'm about to show you in this video, Charleston is upset at the SayCheese titles and how Sean Cotton titled these videos a certain way to play on the algorithm for views, and how sometimes what he does, it just overall hurts his brand. Not SayCheese brand, but the Charleston White brand. Y'all check this out.
You see that title? Jeffrey Epstein is alive. That is a quote that Charleston said in this interview, right? That's a quote that Charleston said in his interview. And it's in parentheses, properly titled in parentheses. Charleston White slams Obama, defends Diddy, and rips Planned Parenthood. Do you see the variety of that topic? Right? So it says that Charleston White slams Obama. So meaning he's just not slamming Obama. He also defends Diddy and rips. That's a brief description in a title that clearly says this is a conversation. This is a conversation. Charleston White. So as high risk as my title is and my name, so you already have problems with my name. Charleston White banned. Charleston White banned, that's not too advertiser friendly. From Young Boy Tour. So when you say Charleston White, he's already controversial, banned from Young Boys, so there's already been violence associated with Young Boys Tour, face to face with Boosie. Boosie him has already been known to have issues. Flexing, $300. Flexing, negative. Face to face, negative. Young Boy Tour, negative. Charleston White banned. Only to, hold up, let me see. Every negative element is wrote in here. The state of rap music. An advertiser look at that, the state of rap music is negative. And culture surroundings, negative. Charleston White being banned, negative.
Now, in all honesty, if you're a content creator and you got a YouTube channel that you take serious, then what you just heard, you know that's true. You know part of that to be true. And it's certain things on here that you have to take serious in order for people to take you serious. So I ain't gonna even just knock Charleston White for saying that, because when he talks about the way SayCheese titles his videos compared to other platforms outside the culture, I see where the difference is. But it's not as big of a difference as Charleston White is trying to make it seem, and I'm finna tell you why. Both interviews highlight it's about to be some fuckery. I'm just being real. It's just a way that PBD, that podcaster, he was able to, just somewhat be careful when it come to wording things a certain way. But look at the stuff Charleston talked about on the podcast in its entirety. You got on there and you said a whole bunch of buffoonery. You say Charleston said a whole man. Just go watch that interview, man. He said a whole bunch of crazy stuff on there that was just out of pocket, and the only reason why it didn't hit as hard in that community as it would in the rap world, because that's a world that you ain't a part of. Like, getting on that podcast really just kind of it just go along with what you do all the time, like saying things and doing things for shock value. But as far as holding some type of weight, the way that you felt and the stuff that you said on that podcast, them guys be on some whole different shit when it comes to politics. So you can't even fathom the even be in the space to talk about some of the things that they talk about and be intellectual like them. That, I'm just being real. But and I say that too because, and this just a sidebar outside of just what I'm covering in my video. Charleston always talk about how it's documented this, it's documented that. Why we don't never see him put a lot of work and effort into that type of stuff, or just show and prove on it? Especially when it came to being on a podcast like PBD, not just saying what you do, but showing it and like getting on there talking about that type of stuff and how to apply that type of knowledge. You got on there with the same type of stupidity that you have in the hip hop world. So to me, I said all that to say this. I feel like this man don't got as many credentials as he say he got. Like, he might have been a pillar in his community or whatever the case, but people look at stuff that Charleston do and feed into it and be like, man, well, what about the time when he say that when he used to try to do this stuff for the community, did that and third? Man, this man has said it 1,000 times over that he playing a character. So if I'm going off of what he say as far as this character goes and how stupid he act, then I'm not believing nothing when it comes to just him being this much of a person that got the credentials to be in certain rooms and do certain things. Because if he did and if he had it, I feel like his ignorance would not override that stuff sometimes. And if he had a chance to show his intelligence, that was the time to show it, when he was in the room on a podcast like that, because all they do is cover politics, the mafia, the world. Like, Charleston didn't say nothing on there outside of all the ignorant stuff that he say just on a day-to-day basis. Y'all go check that out. So, again, just, I agree with the part of him saying that, YouTube run a certain formula. If you don't know certain things or don't apply them, then your platform can lose buzz. I get that, because it not only will it lose buzz with the platform, then the people that's on there they can lose buzz. But all that other stuff, I just it just sounded a little crazy. It don't be adding up. He said that majority of the titles on SayCheese say Charleston White goes off. But what do you think you be doing, dude? Like, come on, man. Like, let's just be real. Like, see, this is where I get confused, because you the one started all this barbecue shit. You. And if I'm not mistaken, at one point, this was your get off. You invited all the smoke, and you were trying to do anything and say anything to draw all the attention to yourself. So what changed? What changed? Is SayCheese supposed to lie in his titles and clickbait the audience, or just say some shit that ain't true? Like I don't know. Either way it go, one thing for sure, it ain't no clickbait, whether he try to make it clickbaitable or not, because what you see in the title is what you gonna get in the video, and 1,000 times over. Every time. So, in all honesty, if I'm being real, I just say, Charleston, it ain't really nobody's fault the way things are starting to play out. And y'all just follow me. It ain't nobody else's fault the reason why things playing out the way they playing out. It's your fault. And you made your brand controversial like this. So now that you decide that you want to clean it up and you want people to change their titles and all this stuff, you expect everybody to just change their formula for you and just move to your speed now. it don't work like that, because what SayCheese is doing, what Sean Cotton is doing, is ultimately working for him. The same way what you were doing for you in the beginning, it was working for you. You see the contradiction in mentioned about how Sean Cotton is stuck at a standstill because he won't upgrade in the content world. Basically saying, he using the same microphone, he using the same equipment, and just seem like he comfortable where he at. Whereas with other platforms, when he go on those platforms, you can kind of see the growth, not just in the numbers, but in the professionalism and how they do business, how the setup is evolving, how they promoting the brand and stuff like that, just all type of things. And again, I see where he somewhat right, but it still just sounds like a contradiction a little bit, because like I said, what if Sean Cotton is doing what works for him and his platform? Like what if what he doing is really working for him, and the way he go about doing stuff the same way, or how you say he's stagnant, or you just saying he comfortable, what if this formula is working for him? Now when you talk about titles, like I said earlier, and how he words stuff for the algorithm, it do make you look crazy. I give you that. But you can't tell him how to run his platform just because you feel like y'all supposed to be the Jordan and Robin in this shit. Because Charleston White used to brag a whole lot about how him and Sean Cotton had this certain setup that was working, where you used to love getting these random phone calls out of nowhere to come sit down as soon as some crazy shit popped off on the internet. You remember that? Where you could just sit down and just talk crazy about everything that happened. So what happened all of a sudden? Instead of just admitting that this character is hurting his brand ultimately because of all that stupid stuff he done over the years, he looking for somebody to put the blame on, but you can't, because these be your words. These be your words, man. This is your shit. Now, I seen online where some people were saying that this might be a play that Charleston running, him and SayCheese, because he known for doing that type of stuff, and they believe that it's fake. Do I think it's fake? I don't know. Could be not. They could be running the play. You know what I'm saying? I done seen him do that too. But if it's real and he really feeling some type of way, I feel like he should blame himself, because at the end of the day, ain't no sabotage worse than self-sabotage. Period. A lot of times Charleston crash out and make stuff hard on himself when it comes to the bridges he done burned, the bad relationships he done made in the industry. So just because you feel like you want to change the narrative, that don't mean it's just supposed to happen overnight. People had to sit up and just really watch you do all this stuff and cause all this chaos and foolishness for 5 or 6 years. So maybe it might take just as long to fix all the havoc you can cause. Who knows? Now, sometimes, don't get me wrong, he mean well, and I get the message sometimes. But that little bit of good don't count for nothing overall when you wake up every day and choose controversy online first. And you attack whoever whenever and started hiding behind playing his character shit. I'm just being real. And I honestly think that he just got too much pride to admit all the dumb stuff he done over the years is now coming back to hit him in the mouth. It's coming back to hunt him. But instead of taking some type of accountability, he'll rather blame it on a platform that at one time it helped you promote all this dumb stuff you were saying heavily. So don't get mad because Sean is still sticking to the script, to the formula that you helped him create. And now you having to change your heart just because you done start hanging around Aiden Ross and stuff, making, a different type of money and want to clean up your image and stuff. No, it don't work like that. You this ignorant fool that play the fool, like you do the fool, right? These your words. So just continue to keep playing on people. Don't get mad now. It's too late to get mad. It's too late to even try to feel some type of way. And man, all the money that you done made that dude platform, man, no. If it ain't a play, if what he's saying is true, he sound like he just contradicting himself. Some of what he's saying, he would have a point if he didn't help start this exact formula that he complaining about. Like Sean Cotton only able to post these titles and caption these videos the way they are like this is because at one time that was the way to gain attention online. That was the way to get a whole lot of views. That was the way to gain traffic on your page and stuff like that. Just, man, the clickbait titles and stuff. So he's still in that clickbait phase where he don't care about how stuff he posting it exactly how it working for him when it comes to you. I was finna say he don't care about how it's making you look. No, I ain't gonna say he don't care about how certain stuff make you look, but I just feel like, man, when it comes to making this money and stuff and what y'all doing in this formula, if it make dollars to him, it makes sense. And you can't fault him for thinking that way because you done sat up here for years and years and years and played on people and bragged at the same time about how you like sparking controversy, you like disrespecting people, you like saying the most disrespectful stuff because that's what pay you. And then you blamed it on the character. So like I said earlier, the only reason why he feeling some type of way is because now you getting these deals. You see how he had that bottle, that water bottle in the club and stuff. Now these brands want to do partnerships and stuff with you. And it's hard for you to get these certain type of deals and brands and stuff to get behind you because you just said so much crazy thing on the internet. So when he compared PBD to Sean Cotton, in his mind, he feel like at least give people a chance to watch what I'm saying before you just caption it like that, making me look crazy to the world. No. Because still and all, even if that's the case, like PBD made have took their time and worded that stuff right. If a person sit down and watch it, it ain't no difference. Everything that you said in that video, dude, you say some of the same exact stuff in the hip hop world. So it really don't matter how you caption. You just say that because a lot of people watching you now, a lot of eyes watching you. So you want to make sure that you look good to the public, but I feel like it's too late. It's up to you to fix that. It ain't up to other people to fix that for you. You got to fix that. And like I said in the beginning, if you got so much stuff going with the kids and you got all these accolades and credentials and stuff like that, this is the way to change the narrative. This is the way to fix things. If that's what you're going through behind the scenes where it's hard for you to get these certain type of deals and stuff now because you done burnt so many bridges and stuff, go change the narrative. Start having too much pride. See, he want his cake and eat it too. And it don't work like that. Charleston thought he was going to continue to make money with SayCheese and be on YouTube, getting the Facebook checks and getting the Instagram, that small money, until he realized he got bills now. He got real deal bills. Charleston staying in Miami. He having jewelry. He doing other personal stuff. He in the strip club every time he turn around. He plane tickets and all that stuff. It's starting to cost. That lifestyle cost. So YouTubing and waiting on these checks on the 21st, it ain't getting it done now. But man, and you can't blame nobody but yourself because at one point in time, everything that you trying to act like is fucking you up now. You fucked up about it was working for you at first when you were still in Texas.
I'm bigger than y'all, right? SayCheese TV. You ain't bigger than me. The channel ain't bigger than me. Now, I don't want to have to fall out with you. I don't get my money on time. I got, man, I'll send you the money tomorrow. Tomorrow come, I'll send it at midnight. I need it now. Let's go back to doing how I need my money now. Now when I'm done with the interview. Somebody tell me answer the goddamn phone. He done made me mad in the mother. I'm swinging around for 2 days. Waiting on you and your unprofessional.
All that stuff was still working, and I don't say that in no disrespectful way, but man, everybody can notice and tell the lifestyle change. And it ain't even just being in his business, it's just being real shit. He sit up there and he talk about it all the time. Hell, you got a whole nother like side piece little woman that you be with now. You got a whole nother lady, a little side piece that you with now. So it ain't no secret what you do out here in the streets. And man, that it costs money. It costs money to treat. But figure out how to change that and figure out how to make that work for you and clean your own image up. Don't go blaming Sean Kyle for that, no, because that dude got bills to pay too. He got a family to feed too. And at the end of the day, just because you got on there and you helped him build a brand by sitting down and giving him good content at times, don't mean you made SayCheese. Nah, don't get it twisted by a long shot. So you can say that this dude brand is gonna, like, his platform is gonna go down and all that stuff like that. No, it ain't. Only the best advice I can give Sean Cotton, if you to like ever watch my video and hear me say something, is just take notes when it comes to substance with other podcasters and content creators and YouTubers that you get influence from, like Vlad TV and maybe No Jumper and I don't know who else. Like who else he probably. Well, I know Vlad is a big influence on him. You see it, the people that they interview, who he interviewed. Like Vlad can go inside of the hip hop where Vlad don't. Now Vlad may ask certain questions sometimes, and it like he trying to lure you in, and people be saying that he basically be trying to pin people in the corner on some police shit. But at the end of the day, I feel like one thing he do and one thing he good at is stepping outside of the hip hop realm and going other places looking for content, going other places looking for interviews with people that got different types of story. Like you can go on Vlad and get any type of interview you want it from any type of person. Like just being real, I take my hat out to him. That's what I would consider like evergreen content, where when you don't want to just be talking about the rappers and rap beef and murder and stuff like that. Now, granted, he got certain niches and certain things that work for him, where he got the Keefe D and Tupac thing with Greg Caden and stuff like that. That's still at the end of the day what I would consider like evergreen, where 10, 15, 20 years from now, the way those interviews are set up, that's like documentary form. So if I could give Sean Cotton any type of advice, it's like start looking at different ways to change up your platform and how it's structured and the people that you bring on there, because Charleston may feel like he done helped your platform up until this point. If anything, he's the reason that you stagnant. If anything, he the reason that you stuck or gonna go down or whatever he's trying to say. That's just my opinion. I feel like everything that he's saying is gonna happen after you leave is really happening, holding on to him, where he kind of keeping you stuck to a certain degree. Like I just said earlier, most of the interviews is just always waiting for something to happen. These be your biggest moments with this dude, and it ain't about nothing. NBA YoungBoy, 6ix9ine, or Julio Fulio, or YNW Melly, or saying some crazy stuff about Trump, or still the same repetitive like story over and over again about how he murdered somebody when he was young and all this stuff like this, or what's documented. Like, just man, I ain't lying to y'all, man. This dude really is a finesse. Charleston really the real deal finesse, and I'm starting to see what's going on with him. I ain't saying he going broke, but this dude is having issues that we don't see right now, where it's starting to affect his money. But he ain't gonna take no type of accountability for that. He's only gonna blame that on other people. And this is what the star right here. So if this ain't a play being run and he dead serious, I said all that to say, blame yourself and straighten it up. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this, man. T-RaeTv, hit the like button, subscribe, share, comment down below. That's just my thoughts. That's just my opinion on it. That's just me. I feel like he can't blame nobody but himself. Point blank, period. Y'all be blessed.